Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. In September, the Prime Minister announced he would have all stranded Australians home by Christmas. How many stranded Australians will be overseas on Christmas Day because of his refusal to act on the recommendations of the Holton Review and establish national quarantine facilities like Learmonth instead of just blaming the states? Rather than spending $15 million on his comeback advertising campaign, why is he not doing more to help Australians come back home?
The Prime Minister has the call.
This is a serious issue, and it's one the government has been giving serious attention to. But, Mr Speaker, the question posed by the member opposite demonstrates once again that Labor and the Truth have a very unhappy relationship, Mr Speaker. A very unhappy relationship.
Members on my left.
Mr Speaker, on about the 18th of September, we made a commitment. At that time, there were 26,200 people who were registered overseas, and that was our target, Mr Speaker. That was our target. We were very clear about that. And 43,800 Australians have come home since that time, Mr Speaker. 43,800 have come home since that time, working together with the states and territories, in particular, to establish not only an expanded quarantine capability with the Northern Territory government, with federal support in the Northern Territory, but to do the same thing in Tasmania. In addition to that, Mr Speaker, just recently 13 commercial flights have been facilitated by the government since the 23rd of October. But, Mr Speaker, there has been some 77 government-facilitated flights that has brought home directly, specifically, outside the commercial arrangements, some 32,100 Australians, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, our government has been acting on the calls to get Australians home. Back in March, we said very clearly that we would advise against Australians going overseas, and that those who are overseas, we would encourage them, Mr Speaker, to return home at the earliest opportunity. Now, right now, Mr Speaker, right now we have some 39,000 or thereabouts who now are still registered to come back. That is higher than the figure that we had in the 18th of September. But Australian government has facilitated flights. We have provided tens of millions in support to those who are stranded overseas on everything from cash assistance to accommodation support to give them the support they need wherever they are. Services Australia is contacting all of those Australians, Mr Speaker, to ensure that we have the most up-to-date information about their needs to come home. But, Mr Speaker, it is an appalling misrepresentation from the Labor Party to suggest that the government, when we said 26,200 people had to come home, and we've beaten that, and we've got 43,900 home, Mr Speaker, 800 I should say, in the direct response to the efforts that we put in place. Now, Mr Speaker, they can haggle all they like, they can chip away as they are seeking to do. They're a very grumpy lot over there today, Mr Speaker. Our government will leave them to their grumpiness. We will get on with the job of getting Australians home. We will get on with the job of recovering the Australian economy, getting Australians back in the job, and the politics of negativity, rather than the economics of recovery, Mr Speaker, will be our focus.